guys, today I am back with another foundation review, first impressions, and this time it's on the Tarte Clay Stick Foundation. So I'm super keen to give this a try. So if you're interested in seeing how it wears on a combination skin type throughout the day and just hearing my overall thoughts and opinions on it, then just simply keep on watching and I'll jump straight on into it. So I ended up getting it in the shade Medium Sand. This was based on the recommendation from my gal pal Casey Rayton. We tend to wear the same foundation shades and she actually has a review as well as a swatch video on the entire collection. So I'm going to link her video below for you guys because some of you might find that helpful, and I personally did. I always love it when my girl tries out foundations before me because I know just to get the same shade as her and it saves me a whole lot of trouble, so thank you, Casey. So I'm just jumping on Tarte Cosmetics to read a little bit more about it. So it's obviously a clay stick foundation. It retails for 54 Australian dollars and I believe 39 US dollars. And it just says, have you fed your skin lately? Our 12-hour creamy matte clay stick foundation feeds your appetite for weightless, natural coverage and good for your nutrients. It says that it contains Amazonian clay, which is nature's most perfect ingredient for better, longer, truer wear. It has mineral pigments which soothe and soften skin, vitamin C, which is an antioxidant that fights free radicals whilst brightening the skin, and vitamin E, which is a natural preservative that also acts as an emollient and an antioxidant. And it says product performance, build... I need to sneeze. Sorry about that. Okay. So it says product performance, a buildable powder to liquid formula that melts into skin for medium to full coverage, leaving a natural finish that looks and feels just like your own skin. Micro encapsulated powders then burst with your body heat to keep you shine and cake free. The vegan formula features antioxidants, vitamin C, E and Amazonian clay, a total skin balancing powerhouse that hydrates or mattifies depending on your skin type. Interesting. So the guilt-free blend also means there are no harsh chemicals like talc, that's good, gluten, sulfate or parabens in your buildable creamy coverage. Use on the go as a spot concealer or in a lighter or darker shade to highlight and contour. Just swipe and blend. So the bottle contains a net weight of 9 grams or 0.32 ounces. Let me just grab another stick foundation to compare. Okay, so the Makeup Forever stick foundation has 0.44 ounces. So this is only a little bottle, the Tarte one, so it's not a lot of product. So it's probably not going to last you a very long time. So I've already moisturized, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my usual priming products. So after moisturizing, I always go in with my MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime water and just spritz my face with this. So I let that dry, and then next up I go with my Benefit Matte and Poreless. This is my favorite go-to everyday primer. I know some people don't typically like primers to be used in foundation reviews, but for me personally, I don't ever not prime my face. I always use some sort of priming product, whether it be this, whether it be winter and my skin's feeling dry, I might use the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I always use something to combat my issues. So overall at the moment, my skin is pretty good. I only have like two little breakouts. They're a little bit dry, which we'll be able to see how the foundation sort of settles on those areas. But other than that, my skin is pretty clear. I just have a lot of pigmentation issues. My skin is super blotchy. As you can see, I don't have a flawless skin tone by any means. Fancy packaging, like it's very simple but very pretty. It's very weighted, it feels high quality. And then when you take the lid off, it's just like a little twisty foundation stick, and I'm just going to twist it up and show you how much product you get. So that is how much product comes in the actual stick foundation. So I feel like it won't last you very long. It's not a lot of product, really not a lot of product at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this directly to my face. I think I'll do 2 swipes each cheek, swipe on the chin and maybe 2 swipes on my forehead, and we'll just see how that goes. Okay, first impression. Super creamy, like it glides onto the skin so nicely. So I'm going to use my Sigma 3D HD blender to blend it out, and we'll just see how it goes. I feel like my sponge isn't damp enough, so I'm going to spritz it with some Fix Plus. I think I'm going to need to apply a few more swipes for myself personally. Colour seems great though. Colour seems to match really well with my fake tan. So although it felt creamy, like applying it directly from the stick, it still is like a little bit stiff to move when you're blending it with the blender, if you get me, which in my opinion, is not a bad thing. I think sometimes stick foundations can be too creamy, and if you've got a similar skin type to me, like combo or oily, you don't want anything too creamy. So that is based off just one layer. As you can see, most of my redness is still peeking through, or the blemishes are still shining through. So I'm definitely going to go in with double the amount of product and build it up. So it says it's a medium to full coverage. So after we do another layer, I'm thinking it should build it up quite nicely. So let's try a little bit more product.
Oh yeah. Yep, that second layer. Yes, girl.
The second layer is applying really nicely over the first. There is no dramas whatsoever with layering this product. It is gliding on. So I always kind of find foundations like this hard to explain, because that is definitely looking full coverage. Like, it's very much made my skin look very flawless, and it's given me a really nice even color, because as you guys would have seen before, I don't fake tan my face, so I obviously need to match my face to my neck, which this shade seems to be pretty good in my opinion. I think it's actually as perfect as you could probably get when it comes to matching it to your foundation. It's very similar to my Makeup Forever Ultra HD in the shade Y245. However, when I look at it, I still have redness coming through. Like this patch here on my cheek, literally it really doesn't matter what I use, it is never covered. That always pokes through. So I try not to really look at that as an indicator of how good of coverage a foundation is. I try to more focus on things like blemishes and stuff, and about whether I have to go in with concealer after the fact, which I typically do anyway, and I also powder my face. So I don't really know if I want to put any more foundation on, because the finish is just looking so nice right now. But I'm liking it. Like, first impressions, I am liking it. So I might actually do the rest of my like concealer powder and stuff on camera just to show you guys. So it's currently just after 9:30, and I'm going to go ahead and do my concealer and everything. I'm going to do that quickly on camera too. So I use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. This is my favorite concealer. So I'm going to put that around my face the usual places I would. I feel like I definitely use more concealer than like the normal average person, but I just like how it looks. So the concealer applies beautifully over the foundation. Like, I had no problems whatsoever with the two products. I find sometimes certain concealers do not mesh well with certain foundations. Like, I would not recommend using the Shape Tape with the Kat Von D Lock It foundation. They seem to like nearly curdle with each other. I'm really liking it so far. I'm super excited. I'm really happy with it. So as you can see, I've still got my red patch there. I'm actually going to put some concealer on there because it's just annoying me today, and I want to cover it up a little bit more. And then just to balance out this side of my face, I'm also going to put concealer there, but I just want to show you what it looks like before I put any concealer there, so you guys can see if you have like really hyperpigmentation or rosacea kind of vibes, like that's the sort of coverage you're going to get if you have, you know, like a birthmark, or like I said, rosacea. That's what you'll be looking at. But like for normal discoloration, like what I have on my cheeks and on this side of my face, you get really good coverage. So it just kind of depends what your skin issues are, like what you're working with, if you get me. But now that I know the concealer applies really nicely over the foundation, I have no problems applying it where I need that little bit of extra coverage, which is in this particular section. And then even though I don't need it on the right side of my face, just to like balance out the color of my face, I still like to apply it there because my concealer is a bit lighter than that foundation. So we just want to make sure our face color is like symmetrical, if you get what I mean. And in the hairy parts of my face, it doesn't look too bad either. So I'm going to be using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Light and my Sigma Tapered F35 brush just to set under my eyes quickly before that concealer creases. Okay, so it says it's a matte finish. There is a tiny bit of transfer, so I am 110% going to set my entire face with powder, which is what I generally do on a daily basis anyway. So I'm going to use a little bit more of that powder and light just between my eyes and above my brows. So now taking the medium shade and my F10 brush by Sigma, I'm going to set the rest of my face with this one. So all up around my cheeks where like I put my contour and everything, and around the perimeter of my face. So now I'm concealed and set. This is what the base is looking like. Super duper flawless, like really nice looking on the skin. not cakey at all, very natural looking but very full coverage looking. So it is 9:46, so I'm going to jump off camera, finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will come and chat with you again once I have my full face on. Alright guys, I am back. It's just after 10:30, so it's been about an hour in total since I very first put on the foundation, and I'm literally loving the shit out of it. It is so beautiful. It feels incredibly flawless on my skin. Now that I've set my face and I put all my other products on and it's had time to sort of settle in, it definitely has a more matte finish. It's not like super matte where your face feels like dry though. It still feels very nourishing on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel cakey, like it feels like I don't have anything on my face. I'm just really keen to see how it wears because I just think it looks flawless. Alright, I will talk to you guys really soon. Alright guys, so I'm just getting ready to leave the house and head out the door. I've had the foundation on now for nearly 5 hours. It's been about 4.5 hours and it is getting ever so slightly on my forehead. My studio lighting will exaggerate that, so because I've got like so many bright lights just sitting behind the camera, they will definitely emphasize the shine, but it looks fine in person. Like I don't feel the need to touch up or anything like that. I'm just looking at my forehead in the mirror, and although it's a little bit shiny, nothing has broken up around my face. The only thing is I did blow my nose, and I did just get my beauty blender with whatever product is already on it, and I touched it up once. I'm just going to touch it up one more time now because, I mean, if you watch my other foundation reviews, you guys know I'm a snotty mess and I'm forever blowing my nose because I get really bad allergies. But yeah, my eyes are really red too. Sorry about that. I've just been on the computer editing, and the heating, like where the heating duct is, it sits right over my head, and I feel like the hot air was just drying out my eyes really bad, so now they're really red. Which means they're only going to get worse, so when I check in later they might be really, really bad, so we'll just have to be prepared for that. But overall, I am loving this so much. It is literally beautiful. It may very well be one of my new favorite foundations. Generally after about 5 hours, I find that with a lot of foundations, they tend to start breaking up, they tend to be getting oily. This is lasting really well, especially for a stick foundation formulation. I was expecting to be a greasy mess by now because I do actually have a review on the Makeup Forever foundation stick, the Ultra HD stick, and literally no joke, within like 3 hours I was a shiny greasy mess. Not having that problem with this foundation. I'm really liking it. I'm really, really excited about it. So I will check back in with you guys when I get home tonight. Probably won't be till closer to like 8-9 p.m, but we'll just see how it wears for that next second part of the evening, and I'll let you know my overall thoughts. But so far, 2 big thumbs up from me. 2 big thumbs up. So I'll chat to you guys shortly. Alrighty guys, it is my final check-in. So I've had this foundation on now for nearly 11 hours. And let me tell you right here, right now, this foundation, I'm just looking for the bottle, is so good. I cannot believe how well it has like lasted on my skin for 11 hours. Like, it is only very slightly shiny on my forehead. Like I said before, because I've got artificial lighting in front of me, it kind of really exaggerates the shininess, but it's really not that bad. I'm just trying to get up close so you guys can see, maybe if I like block a bit of the light, if I block a bit of my ring light, but it's like not that bad at all, and it's not broken up, like even slightly. I will admit I have touched up my nose just once throughout the night because I blew it and I had a red nose from blowing it. But other than that, I have not touched up a single bit of the rest of my makeup on my face, and it looks as flawless on my skin now as it did when I applied it. So considering my forehead is only slightly shiny, I think I'm just going to try actually putting a little bit more powder on my forehead to see if it kind of like gets rid of the oil, just to see what it looks like. But here's one last look up close. Yeah, and the tiniest bit of powder like literally just took that shine right away. And it looks just as flawless as when I put it on. You guys, I'm really impressed. Last foundation I reviewed was the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, and I think that is actually a great foundation. However, it's meant to be like a 24-hour wear foundation, but this has lasted way better on my skin than what the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation did. And like, that's meant to be bulletproof, that foundation. And I do really like that foundation. It's just that I definitely do get quite shiny with it, as you would have seen in the review, which it still stayed intact. But this one, like, I feel like I'm really not shiny at all. It stayed intact. It's not cakey. It's not super like blocked on your skin. Like, I'm going to agree that this foundation definitely lasts beautifully on 12 hours on combination skin. 110%. So if you're more on the normal or dry side of things, you're 110% going to have no problems. So I'm super curious to see how this performs on super oily skin types, because girlfriend, I'm telling you, this stuff is so good. Like, I hope the camera is picking up how good it looks still, because I'm blown away. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had high expectations for it. I did, because I just have high expectations for everything from Tarte. I just feel like Tarte is a great brand. They generally have really amazing products, so I kind of expect anything less than amazing. But this is like amazing times 10. Not to mention the actual Tarte Shape Tape paired with the clay stick foundation. I feel like these two are destined to be used with each other. So if you're going to purchase one, I definitely recommend grabbing the other, because I just feel like these are a match made in heaven. The two products combined on my face are just giving me all types of feels, and I'm seriously so impressed with it. I think I may have found a new holy grail foundation. Now, the only other thing I forgot to talk about and touch on earlier in the video is the shade range. So they actually have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They have 12 different shades, which isn't a lot of choice. However, I think it's reasonable for the introduction of the product. I'd say in the next 6 months or so, they will definitely bring out more shades, just like they have in their other ranges previously. So I definitely think it is worth checking out. If you guys don't fall into the shade range of what they have available, let them know, because it's a great foundation. I'm sure they will add more tones to their range eventually. So I'm pretty sure I've covered everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I'd love to know in the comments section, have you tried this foundation? What did you think of it, or are you planning on purchasing it? If you're a new face, welcome to my channel. Please do subscribe before you leave, and I'll be talking to you guys really soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.